What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Peller podcast. I'm JJ, author of the book Attract Your Potential and founder of Peller University Mastermind community. And I'm going to talk with you in today's message about how to be a powerful persuader. Now, the first question you've got to ask yourself is, why do I want to be a powerful persuader? Great question. And the answer for most people is because if you can become a powerful persuader, you can create better results, not just for yourself, but for the people that you're persuading. Because if you don't do this one thing before deciding to become a powerful persuader, then everything you try to do and persuade people in will not be as effective. And in fact, it might even be unethical. You see, the very first thing that anyone who wants to become a powerful persuader must do is realize that with great power comes great responsibility. And so you must decide that you will only use your powerful persuasion skills to be a positive force for good in the world. Because there are all kinds of skills that we can have, especially as communicators, especially as leaders, especially as people who have the opportunity to influence the minds, the thinking, and the actions and behaviors of other humans. And so if you're working to become that person that can have the abilities to persuade and to convince and to move people to action, then you got to decide that you're only going to do this if it's in the best interest of the people who you're communicating with. If you're only trying to persuade someone to accelerate your own success, I believe that's unethical. I believe that that's a wrong decision. You see, you might say, well, it doesn't hurt them, so I should still persuade them because it helps me. You're probably not that way if you're paying attention and listening or watching this message right now, but it's important to make that distinction because there are plenty of people that get caught up in the ability to be a powerful persuader, to be skilled at influencing and communicating in a way that gets people to take action. But if the person that you're persuading is neutral in the outcome, then is that something you should actually be doing? And in my opinion, the answer is no. And I'll tell you in a second how I believe I'm effective as a persuader in the moments that I need to be effective as a persuader. There's one specific thing that I do that I believe is the key, the foundation for anyone who wants to be a powerful persuader. But before we get to that, you've got to decide, are you going to use your skills and abilities as a powerful persuader to do good or to just advance yourself? And so as long as you check that box and say, no, I'm here to be a powerful persuader, to help other people, to move other people to take action in their own best interest, awesome. You're my kind of people. Because I believe that powerful persuasion is a vital skill for anyone who wants to make a positive, massive, meaningful difference in this world. This world is moved by the persuaders, by the people who can communicate in a way that makes other people take action or gets other people to take action that's in their own best interest. Think about your friend or colleague or family member who's just not taking action on their dreams, on things they know they need to be doing, whether it's from a health and wellness standpoint or from a career advancement standpoint, from a financial wellness standpoint, or from a relationship standpoint with a spouse, significant other, with their kids. Like if you can be the person that can come into someone's life and use your abilities as a powerful persuader to move that person to take action in that person's own best interest, that also creates maybe, but maybe not, also potentially creates benefits for you, why would you not want to develop that skill? The people that I know who want to be positive forces for good in this world, they know that this skill of persuasion is one of the most important skills that they could develop. And this is not manipulation, because manipulation is simply trying to get someone to do something that's only serving you. But if you know in your heart of hearts, in your soul, in the depths of who you are, that your ability to move someone actually improves that person's life and maybe even has positive ripple effects into the lives of the people around that person, let's freaking go. Like that is a skill you got to want to develop. And so the other thing that you've got to decide is not just are you going to use this skill to be a powerful, positive force for good in the world, to make a positive difference, to make a meaningful difference, to use your life and your voice and your skills in a way that matters for other people. But also, are you willing to do the work that it takes to become a powerful persuader? Because the truth is, it takes work. It takes intentionality day after day after day. I was going to say day in, day out, but day in, day out, day after day to develop this skill. It's just like anything. Like, you can't go in the gym and just randomly walk around and think you're going to get really jacked and physically fit. Like, you got to go in with a plan. You got to go in determined to make a difference for your muscles, for your physical health and strength. But if you just go in the gym and you walk around and you're kind of like just watching people and seeing what other people do, then you're not going to have as big of an impact on your muscles and your strength as you will if you go in knowing that your goal, your intention is to get stronger with every day that you go into the gym, with every rep you do. And if that's your intention, you will accelerate your ability to become a more powerful persuader, to become a better communicator, because that's all it is. Powerful persuasion is simply the ability to develop the skill of effective communication, because at the end of the day, effective communication is about creating results for the people that you communicate with. And that's what persuasion is. It's about being able to use your voice, your body, your facial expressions, your tonality, your energy to move people in a certain direction. And now the key here again is in the direction that's positive for that person, first and foremost. And secondarily, hopefully for you, and tertiary or thirdly, hopefully for even more people that person can reach by creating those results. Now, let me get into the secret sauce here, which is you have to do one thing very specifically as well if you want to be a powerful persuader. Because all the tactics of communication and persuasion that are written about in books, that I may even talk about in my book, Attract Your Potential, and that you can listen to in podcasts, you can listen to the guru share, they're worthless if you don't do this one thing. And this one thing is about convincing the most important person to convince before you try to convince anyone else. I'm sure you can guess at this point who that person is. You. You got to convince you that persuading this person or this group of people is in their best interest, that person or that group's best interest, and it's in your best interest. And you have to be thoroughly convinced, convicted even yourself that this is the right decision. Because once you are convicted in this decision to persuade, to convince, to move, to communicate this message, to get someone to create a certain result or take a certain action, then game over. Because you don't even need the persuasion and communication tactics and strategies if you're fully convicted in what you are saying and what you believe and what you know in your heart of hearts that this person or this group of people need to do. You see, one of the things that I realized early in my career, luckily, and I've been more convinced of it again and again as I've grown in my career and my communication skills and the work that I do as a coach, which a big part of that is convincing people to take action in their own best interest. Persuasion. The thing that I've realized is I've got to be convinced. I've got to be convinced. And I feel it in myself. I feel myself persuading people with passion and enthusiasm when I actually genuinely, authentically believe that person that I'm communicating with or that group that I'm communicating with needs to take action in the direction that I'm trying to get them to move. Not because it's in my best interest, but because it's in that person or that group's best interest. And if you can get that level of conviction in yourself about what you're saying, what you're sharing, what you're communicating, then you don't need the tactics. The tactics help. They will move you to a new level of being a powerful persuader. But the first thing you got to do is convince yourself that what you're saying, what you're sharing, the message you're working to get across, the thing you want that person to take action on is actually vitally important for the success of that person, for the life wellness of that person. And if you can't get to that level, then you got to really ask yourself, is this truly something that I should be trying to convince this person to do, to persuade this person to take action on? And if your answer is not 100% yes, I'm completely thoroughly convinced that this person that I'm working to persuade needs to take this action, then don't do it. Don't actually do it. Because the other thing that will make you a powerful persuader is if you can, with integrity, say that you only work to persuade people when you are completely 100% convinced that it's the right decision for that person. And if you can authentically look someone straight in the eyes and say, I wouldn't try to convince you of this if I didn't completely 100% believe it was in your best interest, there's power to that. Because I'll tell you, the times that I'm the best persuader with people that I, whether coach or family, friends, whatever, people that I just randomly interact with, if I can genuinely and I pride myself on this, if I can genuinely, authentically, with integrity, look someone in the eyes and say, I don't try to persuade everyone of this. In fact, very often, I don't think this is the right decision for most people. But because of what I've heard you say about your goals, about your concerns, about your dreams, about where you want to go, about what you want to do, about the values you have, this is the right choice for you. And the only way I can say that with 100% conviction to any person is if I don't say it 100% of the time. And if I can't say it with 100% conviction, I'm not going to say it. I might say something along the lines of, hey, I'm not completely convinced of this, but here's some reasons that you might want to consider this as a choice for what to do next, or the action to take, or the decision to pursue. And so I'm really comfortable having that conversation with people to say, I'm not completely convinced of this yet. I need to know A, B, and C, 1, 2, 3, whatever. But like from what I can see today, here's the things I'd be thinking about if you're considering this as a potential option as a business owner, as a human in your relationships. But until I get to that level of 100, I mean, not 99%, not 99.9%, 100% conviction that a choice is right for someone that I care about, I will not go all in to persuade that person. And I believe there's power in that. If you try to persuade everybody of the same thing and you're trying to fit round holes or round pegs in square holes, good luck. Square pegs and round holes, whatever the saying is, like, good luck. But if you can thoroughly convince yourself every time you're working to persuade someone that is actually in that person's best interest, you're going to be a powerhouse persuader. You just will be, because people will authentically feel it from you. And if people authentically, genuinely feel your complete conviction in the choice, in the decision, in the thing you're working to communicate to that person, that goes a long way. By the way, it doesn't mean you're absolutely 100% going to convince that person. It just means you put yourself in the best possible position to convince that person, to persuade that person. And in fact, if you can know with all your heart that it's the right choice for that person, they still say no, at least you gave it everything you had. Like, I want to leave it all in the field. If I'm working to genuinely convince someone of something that's in their best interest, I want to know I left it all out there. I gave it everything I had. And as a persuader, as a communicator, as someone that wants to be a person of positive influence in this world, someone that wants to make a meaningful difference in the lives of other people, if you can know for certain that what you're saying to someone will make a difference, then give it everything you got. Give it everything you've got. And the thing I heard, I'll leave you with this. Before we wrap up, I'll leave you with this, and I think it's really critical that you hear this. I heard Gary Vaynerchuk say, and by the way, love him or hate him, he's built a business to over $350 million of annual revenue in about 15 years, which is insane, which is just wild. And so he knows a thing or two about business and leadership and being able to communicate his messages to other people, clients, team members, the community at large, people that he's building his brand and awareness with. And what he said is, don't try to convince people. Be convicted. Don't try to convince other people of anything. Be convicted yourself. Now, I think there's still persuasion and communication skills that come into play that he knows and he does, but his point is not to say don't persuade people. His point is simply the first person that has to be thoroughly, completely, 100% persuaded is you. And the way he says that is say, be convicted in it. Be convicted of the thing that you're communicating to another person, and the chips will fall where they need to fall. So friend, if you're working to become a person of positive influence, you want to make a meaningful difference in this world, you've got to develop these skills of powerful persuasion, of effective communication, to use your voice and your ability to move people to take action that's in, first and foremost, that person's best interest, and secondarily in yours, and thirdly, in the best interest of other people that will feel the positive ripple effects of the actions or decisions that person or that group of people take based on your communication and your persuasion. If you want to be as equipped and empowered as possible to do this work as a powerful persuader, I want to invite you to join me in my brand new Peller University Mastermind community, where we focus on helping people to be people of positive influence. We focus on positive mindset. We focus on positive communication. We focus on positive leadership. And we'll help you develop those skills and that mindset and to be convicted yourself that you have what it takes to be a person of positive influence, and go into the world and do the work that you're called here to do, to use your voice, your gifts, your talents to make a genuine, positive, meaningful difference in this world. Friend, hit the link in the description of this message, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, to learn more about Peller University Mastermind community and find out if this community can be a positive, uplifting, supportive community for you to help you accelerate your success, achieve your biggest goals even faster. Just like I say in my book, Attract Your Potential, become the best version of yourself and achieve your biggest goals faster. That's what I want to help you do with my book, Attract Your Potential, and with Peller University Mastermind community. So join me in that community. Join the group of ambitious, driven people who are all